What is up, fish people? This is Josh with Ohio Fish Rescue. So today I'm just doing our October update, and I also wanted to clear a few things up. Now, we do read all the comments and all the YouTube videos and whatnot, but the last one, you guys, a lot of people kept saying that these clown loaches were dead. Now, common misconception that a lot of people have, clown loaches do lay on the bottom of the tank and they sleep. Now, I don't normally do this, but to prove a point, they get up and they swim away. Now, I don't normally bang on the tank like that to get them to wake up, but to prove this very point, clown loaches love to sleep on the bottom. Normally, it's under a dark place that they feel comfortable, aka the driftwood. They might, get underneath a crook and they'll, hide up in there. There is a hole right there. As you guys can see, there is a clown loach. There's possibly like 4 or 5 in there. It amazes me how many can fit in that hole, but this whole driftwood is hollow and the clown loaches love to hide in it. As you can see, he's trying to steal the show. And it's a big old parrotfish. You can see that there's my hand. Thanks, they're being fed right now. But as I said, there's clown loaches in there. And there he goes. He's back to laying on the bottom. But just wanted to clear that up because a lot of people were saying dead fish alert, and I didn't want you guys to think that, we're clown loach killers. But, this is a good point to go ahead and, teach some of our followers about this species of fish. They are pretty awesome. Another thing that most people don't know about the clown loaches is they have some pretty aggressive barbs that come out of the side of their face if they are threatened. So normally it only happens with larger clown loaches. I've only seen it happen with larger ones. I'm sure the smaller ones can do it too, but they get scared not as easily. But there are these big bones that just pop out and they actually hurt. Me personally, I didn't know the clown loaches could do this until I got stabbed. I was taking some big 12-inch clown loaches out of here, and I went to go reach in the net and grab them, and he barbed me right in my hand, and it hurt. I might have screamed like a little girl. I don't know. You guys can ask my dad about that one. But back to the September update. Oh, you guys have not seen. We picked up some new fish recently, and of course, we got 2 more Arapaima. Nice fat guys. We have them in here because we wanted to get them onto our diet. As you can see, they are eating just wonderful. They're big and fat and healthy. They're just now starting to get the coloring on their tail, so they will eventually be moved into this pond right here. I'm going to build them a 10 by 4 box. And for one, I'm going to put that stingray right there in the 10 by 4 box with these 2 Arapaima. So A, they can grow, and B, this girl is pregnant. Let me see if I can go around here and show you guys what a pregnant stingray looks like and how you guys can tell. So if you look on the... Oh, let the water calm down a little bit. I scared the pacu away. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but if you see right on the back side of her tail, there is an outline. As you can see, some might think it's her stomach, but the babies stack on each side of her tail, and this whole area will just look like a big hump on her back, and you'll have one on each side. The babies stack one on top of each other, and right now she is about 2 months pregnant. So the babies should be just getting ready to move into position, and when she's about 30 days out, the babies will actually start moving and pulsing, and you'll see them moving inside of her stomach. She's just getting to this point, so she's also being fed 3 times a day. But I'm going to go ahead and get her in that 10 by 4 box tomorrow. You guys will have a video on that to see how we make this box. It is just going to float in this pond, but I want all the males in this pond to leave her alone so we don't have no miscarriage or anything like that. So I just wanted to teach you guys a quick little fact real quick. But back to this guy. As you guys can see, this Arapaima came in with a little injury above his eye. I think it might be from hitting the top of the tank. Not too sure, but he had cloudy eye, and he's healing up just fine. As you guys can see, there's food remnants all over the tank. We try and clean it out daily, but these guys are messy, messy eaters. They take them in, they smash them against the roof of their mouth. As you guys know, or some of you may not know, they have a bony tongue, and just like the arowana, they take that bony tongue and they crush the food against their top jaw plate. That's why they have a lot of power when it comes to eating. And when they're smaller like this, they crush food up, food particles go flying everywhere. When they're a little bit bigger, they can just take the food in and they can just swallow it and it goes right to their stomach. Now, another little fun fact about the Arapaima is when I was in high school still, I actually dissected one. We had one here that died. He was about 3 foot long. And I actually dissected him. So I got to open this Arapaima up and learn about the anatomy. And we went ahead and taught the whole class. My teacher thought it was just the most awesome thing. But the stomach on the Arapaima actually goes from their front fin all the way back, almost to their back fin. So their stomach is a good portion of their body. And if you guys did not know, they do have a heart, and it's actually directly behind their eyes, and it's protected by their skull plate. I did not know that, but I thought it was pretty cool. And then he actually kept the face of the Arapaima, and he preserved it in formaldehyde, so he can show some of his future students and talk about the stories and the anatomy of the Arapaima. But back to next part of the story. This red-tailed cat is just ready to come out of quarantine, along with Wally the Wallago, and we're getting ready to place King in his new environment. This koi came in with a really bad bacterial infection. As you can see, he's healing up now. We had to put him in a tub by himself because I didn't want to risk putting him in with other fish and them getting a bacterial infection as well. So we just have this running with a good old FX6 on it. This is a 95-gallon tub, halfway full. So there's about 45-50 gallons of water in here. As you guys can see, this tank is just about empty. We have been rehoming a lot of fish. Right now we're down to 4 pacus, ranging from, I'd say he's a good 9-inch to up to about 15, 16-inch. We have 2 Oscars left to rehome, and of course we have some Placos, your common Placos, and then back in that corner is a Gibiceps Placo behind that tiger shovel nose. The tiger shovel nose is staying, along with that little guy right there. He's hiding behind a tube. He is a labial black shark, and I'm going to try and keep him too. Now, they are pretty mean. I've heard bad things about him, so I'm just going to test the waters with him. You guys can see here, this is a 14-inch or so Asian red-tailed cat. Now, he came in with necrosis of the tail. Now, what that means is he had a flesh-eating bacterial infection, and he was just dumped on us, and they didn't know how to cure him. As you can see, it was getting the tops of his fins. His whole tail was chewed off back to here. Looked like he had no meat on him at all. All his skin was just eaten off and deteriorating. His tail did recede down to a nub. That will regrow, however. But we got the flesh-eating bacteria to recede. We've been treating it with API General Cure. Actually, that's the wrong one. Here's the API General Cure and erythromycin. So we tried attacking it from all fronts. We did happen to save this guy. I'm very proud of that. So we're going to get him healed up just a little bit more before he goes into his next tank. Coming down here. Oh, good news about the platinum red tail. Since we stuck him in this tank, he stopped eating. Now, He finally got his appetite back. As you can see, he's sitting on a fat stomach. Now he eats daily, so I'm very happy about that one. Let's go over here. So over here, we've got this new flower horn. He's a little bit stressed right now because we just moved him into the tank for quarantine, but he will be coming out soon. He was in a smaller tank. We just bumped him up to that 65, but he will be going into a bit bigger tank, I'd say probably next week. But one last thing, I want to take you guys out here. As you guys can see, I don't know if I told you or not, but we carried the plants in from outside. They are doing a wonderful job eating nitrates out of the water. But we've been going through all this aquarium stuff. We're working on switching all of our fluorescent bulbs over to LED lights. For one, to save on power. Two, we want to have the tanks just a little bit brighter. We've got this 265-gallon tank right here. It's all acrylic. It's 7 foot 10 inches long, 2 foot wide, 2 foot tall. As you can see, the lids are nicely cut. They're recessed lids. Very nice tank, like new. Appreciate the guy who actually donated this tank to us. It will be being set up pretty soon. We got a new idea. You know how I told you guys about the 180s? Turned out they are not 180s. They're 195 gallons. They're the same dimensions as a 180, 6 by 2, but they are just a few inches taller than the normal 180. 180s are 6 by 2 by 2. These ones are 6 by 2 by 26 inches tall, if I remember correctly. So just that few short inches makes up for a few more gallons. Over here, we did bring out the fancy goldfish. So of course, we've got all the Arandas. We've got the Ranchu goldfish back there in the corner. We've got a few of these fancy tail shabunkins and comets. The comets are going to go out to the outside pond. However, I have to acclimate them very, 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 very slow so they don't get shocked coming from, 70-degree water in here, because if you guys don't know, Arandas like to be kept at around 72 degrees. Outside, the water's probably around 50 degrees right now this time of year. So I'm going to put them in another tank, drop the temperature down to about, 65 over the course of a day or two. Then I can progressively bring the temperature down and down until they are cold enough to be able to go in the tank out front. But we did pick up this tank right here. One of my good buddies actually picked this tank up. I think he drove like 4 or 5 hours to go pick this up. However, he wasn't able to fit this down into his basement, so he traded me this tank for another acrylic tank that I happen to have here. Not sure what we're going to do with this. I don't really have a use for it. So as of right now, it is just sitting. So back to the idea, we wanted to take these now 195s, set behind, and build a koi pond in front of these tanks. Well, me and my dad were both thinking, we don't like that idea, because what if we just move these tanks out of here? We can have 2 more foot of pond space. So that would bring a 2,000-gallon pond up to about 3,000, maybe 3,500. I haven't ran the calculations on that, but it can be a very big tank. So now what we've been working on back here is, I think we're going to line this whole back of the river system with tanks. I can have pumps running up in, plumbed all together, plumbed through, and back down in. Ran off the same water, heated up to, 84 degrees, so we can keep tropical fish in there, and we don't have to worry about filters as long as we have water passing through. Not really too sure on the idea yet. It might be something cool, might not. But I just wanted to give you guys a little October update, give you guys some ideas of what's going on here at Ohio Fish Rescue. I hope you guys enjoyed this little short video in the October update. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as my dad once said, stay fishy, my friends.